Hi everyone, welcome to the English Fluency course, day 26. Today in this video, I'm going to explain past perfect tense. This is one of the subtenses of past tense. Every tense has four subtenses. Present tense has four subtenses, past tense has four subtenses, and future tense has four subtenses. So today in this class, I'm going to explain one of the subtenses of past tense, that is past perfect tense. Before we begin our class, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon too in order to keep getting spoken English and English fluency related videos from this channel. Today I'm expecting 100 likes for this video. Please don't forget to share and like. Let's start our video without any delay. The structure of the past perfect tense is subject plus had plus V3 plus object or complement. I repeat, the structure of the past perfect tense is subject plus had plus V3 plus object or complement. B forms of this tense are B forms had been. Only one B form, that is had been. Uses. The definition of this tense is this tense is used to describe an action which was completed just before another action took place. I repeat, this tense is used to describe an action which was completed just before another action took place. Example, by the time I went to the station, the train had left. Here, two actions took place, right? The earlier completed action we have to describe in past perfect tense. The structure is subject plus had plus V3. Two past completed actions only, but one is earlier completed action than another. Here, I went to the station is past completed action, and the train left. This is also past completed action. But just before this action, before going to the station, what happened? The train had left. So, the train had left is the earlier completed action. That is why we described it in past perfect tense. I repeat the same example. By the time I went to the station, what happened? The train had already left. By the time I went to the bus station, the bus had already left. By the time I went to the college, the principal sir had already left. So like this you can give number of examples. Next example. My mother had finished cooking when my father came home from office. My mother had finished cooking. By the time my father came home, already my mother had finished cooking. We can say by the time or when, or we can say before my father came. My mother had finished cooking before my father came. Or else we can say my mother had finished cooking when my father came home. Next. When I went to college, the principal had already left. When I went to college, the principal had already left. By the time I went to college, the principal had already left. The principal had already left before I went to college. Next example. I had finished my work before I went out. I had finished my work before I went out. So here two completed actions, finishing my homework, next going out. Two are completed actions only, but one is earlier completed action than another. If you look at the uses, this tense is used to describe an action which was completed just before another action took place. Just before another action took place, one action completed. So we need to express it in past perfect tense. The structure is subject plus had plus V3. I had finished my work before I went out. I had finished my work when I went out. Next, by the time my friend came to the interview hall, I had already been selected. By the time my friend came to the interview hall, by the time my friend came to the interview hall, I had already been selected. Let us see next example. I had brushed my teeth before I took my breakfast. I had brushed my teeth before I took my breakfast. Both are complete reactions, but before I took my breakfast, I had done something. What's that? I had brushed my teeth. When the doctor came, the patient had already died. When the doctor came, the patient had already died. After I had finished my work, I went to lunch. After I had finished my work, I went to lunch. Here, two are completed actions only, but one is earlier completed action than another, that is finishing my work. After finishing my work only, I went to lunch, right? So, the earlier completed action must be expressed in past perfect tense. Subject plus had plus V3. Here, subject is I plus had plus V3, finished. First form of the verb is finish, and past form is finished, and past participle also finished. Subject had plus V3. Next example. I didn't say anything until my brother had finished talking. I didn't say anything until my brother had finished talking. Before I knew it, she had run out. Before I knew it, she had run out. After she had moved out, I found her notes. After she had moved out, I found her notes. When did I find her notes? After she had moved out. I washed the floor when the painter had gone. When did I wash the floor? I washed the floor when the painter had gone. So earlier completed action is the painter went. That is the earlier completed action. So we need to express it in past perfect tense. Instead of saying I washed the floor when the painter went out. Since this is the earlier action, the painter going out is the earlier action. That's why the painter had gone, we have to say. Next example. I had met him before he became famous. I had met him already before he became famous. She had lived here for 3 years when I met her. She had lived here for 3 years when I met her. Let's see the next example. By the time I went to the party, everyone had gone. That means I started late. By the time I went to the party, what happened? Everyone had gone home. I had not eaten at that restaurant before today. I had not eaten at that restaurant before today. Had you cleaned up the mess by the time they came home? Had you cleaned up the mess by the time they came home? Had your friend ever spoken to the CEO before he was fired? Had your friend ever spoken to the CEO before he was fired? Had your brother ever spoken to the CEO before he was fired? Let us see some more examples. What had they said that made him so angry? What had they said that made him so angry? How much had he drunk before you got to him? How much had he drunk before you got to him? Drunk is V3 form. Drink, drank, drank. Drink is present form. Drank is past form. Drunk is past participle. How much had he drunk before you got to him? Next example. Had you had enough money when you went to the showroom? Had you had enough money when you went to the showroom? The plane had left by the time I got to the airport. The plane had left by the time I got to the airport. You had studied Italian before you moved to Rome. You had studied Italian before you moved to Rome. What did you study before you moved to Rome? You had studied Italian. Had you studied Italian before you moved to Rome? Question form is, had you studied Italian before you moved to Rome? He had never played football until last week. He had never played football until last week. Question is, had he never played football until last week? Had he never played football until last week? She had just left the scene when the ambulance arrived. She had just left the scene when the ambulance arrived. Question. Had she just left the scene when the ambulance arrived? Had she just left the scene when the ambulance arrived? The bus had just left when we got to the stop. The bus had just left when we got to the stop. Had the bus just left when we got to the shop? Stop. Had the bus just left when we got to the stop? Next example. I had just gone outside when it started to rain. I had just gone outside when it started to rain. Had I just gone outside when it started to rain? Is the question. So, my dear friends, this is all about past perfect tense. We use this tense to describe an action which was completed just before another action took place. That means here two actions will be there, two past actions, two completed actions only, but one is earlier than another. One action is completed earlier than another. That earlier completed action we must express it in past perfect tense. Structure of this past perfect tense is subject plus had plus V3. With every pronoun had only, not like present perfect tense. In present perfect tense, with the third person singular has and with the remaining persons have. But here there is no confusion. With every person we have to use had plus with the subject plus had plus with. I had, you had, we had, she had, he had, my brother had, it had, just like that. So here you can observe this is the tense which we use along with past simple tense. One should be in the past simple tense, another should be in the past perfect tense. If you practice the examples, if you practice it regularly, you will become confident. When you are confident, you will be able to speak English very well. Thank you all of you. This is all for today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you will receive all the notifications related to English videos and spoken English and English fluency videos. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.